Hello everybody, this is Adam here at A Strings, and in today's video we are looking at one of the new Vox amps for this year. This is the MVX150. And the MVX150 is a NuTube loaded head and also available in a combo. As you can imagine from the name, 150 watts of power. Now what is different about this one to the MV50s and things like that, this is giving us the NuTube technology, those tiny little valves then, we'll call them valves for this video. Tiny little tubes, tiny little valves. This has them in the pre and power stage of the amp. So not only are we getting the sort of breakup and the bite that we get from the preamp stage, but we're also getting the sort of the big clarity and sort of nice warmth from the power tube section as well. So it's not just a valve preamp and a solid state power. So let's have a look at the panel. We'll see what the amp's got. We'll also talk about all the things that are on the back because there's quite a fair bit to go through there as well. And then we will whip through the chain and get some sounds. So let's have a look at the front panel. Now the MVX150 is a 2-channel amp with 2 options for each. On channel 1 we have a clean and a crunch option, as well as gain, an overall tone and a volume, and a bright switch and a fat switch. Channel 2, rhythm and lead. Obviously we've got 2 different sort of levels of gain there. Gain, treble, middle, bass and volume, as well as the bright and fat switches that we've got here, and also a mid-shift switch right there. As you can imagine, in the higher gain stuff, you might want to change kind of where you sit with your mids. You might want to scoop it, you might want to bump it, depends on the style of playing that you have. And then overall is a reverb, presence and resonance. Now interestingly on this amp, we've got 2 master volumes, 1 for each channel. So if you need that extra bit of guts going into channel 2, or if you play a lot of heavier stuff and you want your clean stuff to really pop, if you're going back to a clean, you can do either or, vice versa. So really cool feature to be able to control both volumes of both channels. Now on the rear of the panel, from left to right, this is our on-off, or on standby off switch. The eco switch, which, like the MV50s, this will, when on, knock itself into standby if there's no activity going through the amp. Wet only output, so this is sending just your reverbed signal out to something else. So you could have a wet dry rig, or you can do wet dry wet if you wanted to. Our impedance, 4, 8 and 16, standard. Speaker outs. Now, power level, becoming far and far more commonplace with amps these days. Now this one does drop downs like I've never seen before. So, full, as we'd expect. Half, a fifth, a 30th and a 1000th of your power. And then mute, if you wanted to do silent recording or if you're running through the line out at home. Emulated line out with its own volume, going up to an extra 6 dB, which is great, especially when you're in a band situation and you need to give a bit more extra gain, maybe to that mixing desk. Most line outs on amps are set, generally, or the ones that I've had experience with live, they've been a set volume and you can't really change anything unless you're changing the overall volume of the amp on stage, which sometimes can be a bit of a clash. 2 foot switch inputs. This is our effects loop section, the option of parallel or series, which is really cool as well. And now, the most interesting bit, at least for us tonally in the room, we've got NuTube biases for channel 1 and channel 2. Now these go between vintage and modern. Now it's going to be very, very interesting to hear just how much of a difference they make from completely vintage, completely modern, and then obviously somewhere in between. So what we will do is we will do channel 1, clean. We'll do a vintage and a modern. And channel 2, same thing. We'll do a heavy, vintage, heavy, modern, and just kind of see what the difference is with those sounds adjusting the bias. And that is it. My chain for today is this beautiful, amazing new Gretsch Streamliner. This is a limited P90 bridged Riviera Blue Satin Center Block Junior. Now this is really super cool. So we'll get some sounds out of that, and we will get something heavy for the heavy stuff. Maybe let's go Jackson or something. We'll see. It's a candy shop out there. We'll see. Into the amp. Mic'd up with an SM57. This is the BC112. This is the matching cab for the head. Mic'd up with an SM57 into our board, into Logic. La da 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 da. Let's get some sounds. So that has been the Vox MVX150. Now this is available, as I said earlier, in a head-and combo. This is obviously the head and cab version. Be interesting to see what the combo's like, how it sounds, obviously different enclosure, different style of the amp, but obviously same brain. So that'd be cool to see. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below. We just do tones for you to have a little peruse through. Yeah, tell us what you think. Obviously, this NuTube conversation is something that's ongoing. It's going to be interesting to see whether this is the future. It'll be interesting to see whether this is the way forward for valve amps. And yeah, how convincing did you find it? You know, would you prefer something like this that is using what is essentially a valve in a different form, or would you rather something that maybe models or profiles or does something like that? So yeah, let us know what you think. If you like the video, just give us a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you're not already on the channel. Thank you to those of you who are subscribing. The numbers are going up all the time, and we are very, very grateful for your follow. We are A-Strings, which is a music shop in South Wales, UK. We are available at astrings.co.uk, Facebook at astringsuk, Instagram's the same, Twitter's the same. Pop into the shop if you're passing by or you're local. We look forward to hearing from you soon. So, I've been Adam for A-Strings, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.